Hold on to your butts.
Doggy chow. I used to love doggy chow. I used to love doggy chow too.
You take care, kid. Must be weird not having anybody come on you.
I was overwhelmed by the power of this place. But I made a mistake too. I didn't have enough respect for that power, and it's out now.
I saw you! Man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of No Intermissions, the double feature podcast where we pair the unpairable and link the unlinkable. Two unlikely movies that picked a complete random, and as you know, at the end of every back-to-back discussion, no matter how hard it may be, my guest and myself will find the connecting thematic tissue, whether it be from genre, aesthetic, motive, or style. As always, I am your host, Jack Siddle, and last time you guys would have heard from me on the show, it's when I would have had Australian filmmaker Bill Masoulis on, when we would have paired his own My Darling in Sterling, which was sort of, while set in sort of the mundane Australian suburban reality, it is sort of heightened by, musical numbers and sort of, swept up in the romanticism of it all. So that was really, really fun to talk about. We paired it with sort of the bleak, inky, disgusting nature of Night of the Hunter, yet while just, an impeccably made movie. So, and it was sort of very fun as Bill and I were maneuvering the discussion between the two. We sort of, there was a lot more connecting thematic tissue within both the narrative and filmmaking, which Bill pointed out, which was a lot of fun to sort of discover. But yeah, go check that out. That was the last episode. But you know the rules of the game as always. We've got a new episode here with a new double feature, and obviously not a new guest, it's returning guest. And by this, obviously you've read the title and you know who's in the title, featuring. So I've brought the best man for the job. It is returning guest, all the way back from episode 1. A special honor to bring him back on. It's Mr. Balta. Balta, how we going, man? Balta.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's do this, dude. Can I swear on this?
Dude, yes. Fuck yes.
Oh, dude, let's fucking do this, dude. Let's go, man. I'm so amped. It's great, man. It's been a long time coming. We teased this. That was like the post credits of the first.
I think
episode.
so. Well,
You're like, we should do this again. Like, yeah.
Dude, well, naturally,
1 year later.
Naturally, I had such a good time bringing you on to talk about Heat and Superman.
It was
obviously
awesome, dude.
Plug for the first episode, dude. You on the first episode and got you back. I've managed to rope you back in to talk some movies with me. It's very exciting.
It's been great. When I got your message saying that you wanted me back for it to talk Jurassic, sorry, spoilers, but to talk like the movies we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was so hyped. I did like a little fist bump in the air, like, let's go, let's do this, man. Like, I love this. I love it.
Kate made episode.
I love this little. I love this little like space to talk about some good film.
That's
right?
So good to hear, man.
To let it all out. So yeah, I'm really excited to be back, man. I'm really excited. Thank you for the opportunity, really.
No, it's my pleasure, obviously, man, and I was so grateful that the joy that you, I was like, the excitement from you. I was like, brilliant. Okay, we're back on board. Obviously, that first episode I felt we tackled both movies so well. I was like, I knew from the get-go, I got to get Balta back on. So I knew, I was waiting for the right time, the right double feature, and I was like, okay, this is it. There's no better time. Let's do this. Let's get him on for this. So in sort of relation to that, Balta, what two movies are we talking about today, brother?
Today, we're going to be talking about a little indie movie you might not have heard of called Jurassic Park. I'm totally normal. I don't know if you can already like kind of notice my voice shaking because I'm about to go off on this movie.
Yeah,
like,
I'm fucking nervous.
This is dude, you got like the #1 Jurassic Park connoisseur on here. So we're gonna try and find some connecting tissue between Jurassic Park and Showgirls, which was an interesting first watch for me. I watched it fresh, watched this last night, so I could have it like super fresh in my memory. We're gonna try to do whatever it takes to find some correlation between the two. Give each other some time to ramble about them, and yeah, dude, just I'm
That's
ready.
it.
I'm ready, man. Just let me loose. Let me loose.
That's it. So heard it here first. I've forced Balta to watch Showgirls. So I guess we'll
Come
find out in
on.
the second half of the episode if that was for better or worse. But we'll find out. So yeah, we're talking about Jurassic Park from 1993 and pairing it with Showgirls from 1995. But I mean, look, you know, we can sit here and we can just chat. But I mean, let's get straight into it. I mean, there's no time to waste. It's fucking Jurassic Park.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir.
There it is. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet.
The most phenomenal discovery of our time
How'd you do this?
becomes the greatest adventure of all time.
Can I touch it?
Universal Pictures presents
You feel that?
Hold on to your butts.
a Steven Spielberg film.
Senses are failing all over the park.
Yeah, that's nice. Gotta go.
So Jurassic Park is the 1993 American science fiction action film with a cast that involves Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough, and Bob Peck. Just a few little, you know, a few little known actors there. You know, just
No
little
names.
localized.
Yeah.
And of course, it's directed by I don't know if you've heard of this guy either. It's Steven Spielberg. So he's an up and comer too.
Yeah.
So I'm
No
sure
big deal.
he's got a long career ahead of him. But obviously, look, a lot of this discussion, Balta and I are sort of, as Balta mentioned, shaking a bit. I am a bit timid and nervous about just Jurassic Park as a whole because there's a lot to unpack here. Not just as Jurassic Park as a singular sort of fun science fiction action movie, but obviously in the stratosphere of what Jurassic Park has become in pop culture. So I think we will touch on that at some point. But I do want to start off, because this is how I like to start off talking about each movie with the guest. So Balta, obviously, you know, anyone that is aware of you, like that is aware of Balta's obsession and just pure unbridled love of not only Jurassic Park but just dinosaurs in general.
Yeah, paleontology in general, you could say. Yeah.
And it's so great. It brings me such joy whenever I, like, you know, check my Twitter every once in a while and see Balta just posting like with such like passion about dinosaurs. So it's great. So what I just want to get, Balta, sort of do you remember the first time you watched Jurassic Park, and was this Steven Spielberg movie, was this the start of your sort of paleontology love?
For sure, man. I can't remember the first exact time. I was probably like a fetus. But dude, yeah, this was absolutely the Kickstarter. It was a mishmash of a lot of paleo media. So it was like this and the BBC documentary Walking with Dinosaurs and like this and that. So it was like a mishmash. But Jurassic Park, I would say, was the starting point. You know, little Balta, you know, seeing the T-Rex breakout scene for the first time, you know, just from that point onwards, it's, you know, a lot of the time we say, oh, this movie changed my life, right? But that's like the clearest example. Of course, when you're young, your brain is like, you know, very, very volatile to everything it consumes. So seeing that as a kid literally changed my life. I don't know if you've seen pictures of my room. It's completely decorated in dinosaur stuff. Like it just shaped me as a person completely. Yeah. And just incredibly thankful for it. It is very, very, very special to me.
It's fantastic. You've even got like a whole designated like Jurassic Park sort of corner of your room, correct?
Exactly.
You've got all
Yeah.
sort of the gear and everything.
Yeah, I got like I bought the trilogy on Blu-ray and it came with a little like T-Rex statue. So I have the T-Rex statue, the Blu-ray, the books, which I could go on a whole other like 2-hour podcast about.
Yes,
to
because
talk
you're a
about
big
the
fan of the
books.
books, of course. Yes, definitely.
Dude, yeah, the fucking books. But the books, some toys in there. It's just, man, I'm just a gigantic nerd for it. Don't even get me started on the time when I went to Universal as a kid to the
Oh
Jurassic
man,
Park.
I can imagine.
Dude. Oh man,
You would
no,
have been going
I think
ape shit.
I think I peed myself. I think I might have peed myself at 10 years old. But
Fantastic.
man, yeah, just incredibly important franchise to me.
Yeah, and I mean to circle back quickly, I wouldn't mind also getting because you're rather familiar with the first book from what I
Mhm.
can tell. So I wouldn't mind, as naturally as we talk about the 1993 movie, if we could maybe get some comparisons from you perhaps, because
Oh, for
I
sure.
know the very basics of the book. I know sort of
Mhm.
but obviously, you know, nowhere near
Yeah,
sort of the
this
Jurassic Park head that you are. So I wouldn't
nowhere
mind
near.
that yeah, if you could definitely provide some insight, that would be fantastic. Because I
Dude, for
know at some
sure.
point
Yeah.
it's obviously based on the book by Michael Crichton.
Crichton. Yeah.
Crichton, sorry.
Michael Crichton.
Michael
Yeah.
Crichton. There's obviously, I know they had to make some allowances to obviously take some sort of you know plot
Yeah. No,
bits
no,
out of the
no.
book, and like because as I'm aware, there's the infamous sort of river sequence in the book that they had to take
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Obviously some characters are very different. I think there's some different deaths from the book to the movie, so
Exactly.
it'd be interesting to yeah, the translation between the two. But yeah, as sort of because as you're such a fan of the movie, would you say it is sort of a faithful adaptation or a good adaptation,
Um,
depending on how
I'd
much is changed?
say, yeah, these two things are completely different, right?
Right.
Uh, Adaptation, I would say, yeah, for sure. I mean, in my mind, it kind of exists. The movie doesn't exist as an adaptation, but as a different thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's complicated. It's because the book is much more like, I would say, thriller, horror, sci-fi ish.
I've heard the book is meaner. Yeah.
It's way meaner, dude. The
Yeah.
movie is definitely like a more, like PG-13, like adventurous movie
Yes.
to take your
Okay.
kids to.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but for sure, like reading the book and noticing some scenes from the film, I was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. Like the film helped me imagine all of these like moments,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
clearer in my mind, right? Like every character in the book, I imagined, Sam Neill, right?
Yeah.
Laura Dern.
Right.
Or when they're in the lab in the book, I thought about the lab set in the movies. So
Gotcha.
they're incredible complementary pieces,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
They go
Cool.
amazing together.
Yeah.
Don't make me pick a favorite. It's gonna be hard. But yeah, they're both incredibly solid pieces of art, standing in their own separate ways.
Interesting, man. Interesting. So, like, I mean, we touched on this briefly before recording. It's like, as I'm sort of like, it's funny. I'm sort of avoiding talking about the movie itself because I'm just so nervous about it because I'm in fear of missing anything out. So we will actually talk about the movie in just a
Dude,
second. But it's also a
of
thing
course.
we touched on this just before recording. It's like one of those movies where it's just so not only ingrained in pop culture but just ingrained in sort of our memory too, because it's obviously such, as you mentioned before, it is such like a vital stepping stone movie to watch as a like a young
Yeah,
movie fan. So it's like we were just talking about this where it's like we didn't even need to like sort of rewatch this in preparation for this podcast
no,
because
no
it's just
need,
so
dude.
back to front memory of it. So
Exactly.
it's like one of those, like, do you have like what's your, do you have like a favorite sequence we'll start off with? Like, is there like a standout moment for you?
Wow. Asking me for a standout moment in Jurassic Park. That's
I know it's
the
hard,
whole
yeah.
thing is a standout
Because
moment.
I was on this rewatch, I couldn't pick one because I'm like, okay, that's my favorite moment, and then like 2 minutes later, I'd go, oh wait, no, that's my favorite moment.
Yeah, that's my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think most people would probably say the T-Rex breakout scene as the most memorable like Jurassic Park scene. For me, the one that's like really seared into my memory, the one I love the most, is when they see the Brachiosauruses for the first time.
Oh, of
The
course, yeah,
welcome to Jurassic Park, the music kicks in,
the music, of
the
course.
excitement in Dr. Grant. That's exactly just a visual representation of how it feels to watch this movie for the first time. Like that's literally it. That's why I love it so much. I hold that scene very near and dear to my heart. Whenever I'm in a kind of a bad mood, I just rewatch it and I feel this tingling excitement all over my body. Like fuck yes, dude. Like this movie exists and I exist at the same time as it does. And it's just it's a beautiful scene. I would definitely go for that one if I had to pick.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal, and I mean, like all the I don't even know where to fucking start with this thing. It's so hard with Jurassic Park, but obviously, like Steven Spielberg is obviously, you know, I believe, because I think from what I can understand, what I've read, this was sort of in a high bidding war with studios, because even before the book was published, because they were like, okay, this is such a brilliant idea and we got to make this into a movie, and it was going through like so many different directors in the pre-production stages. Like James Cameron was going to do it at one point.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which would have been, I feel from what I've read, James Cameron was definitely going to do something more in line with the book in terms of sort of definitely a meaner approach, because he wanted to do it more in the sense of like aliens.
Yeah,
it was going to go to
would have been badass. Would have been badass.
It would have been different.
Yeah.
Would have been going to people like Joe Dante, who was obviously coming off like movies like Gremlins and stuff like that. But I think purely as a populist piece of blockbuster entertainment, I think Steven Spielberg was the man to do it.
For sure, man. It's funny, just a little like talk about Spielberg here for a second, but one of my other like fixations growing up, that I don't tweet about much, but sharks. Right. Jaws was my introduction to sharks.
Of course.
So I'm like, if I ever saw Steven Spielberg in person, I would hug him so hard. Like I owe that man. Like that man is my father. I owe that man everything.
Right.
Like watching Jaws and Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like back to back as a kid, it's just my brain just combusted. So like. In my room, I also have, they're kind of stored away, but I have like a lot of little shark collectibles too.
Nice.
So Spielberg is just like absolutely like essential for Balta lore.
Oh,
he really is. He shaped me completely.
That's fucking it, man. Well, I mean, that's like, I think that like stands for itself. And like when you think about blockbusters, like the two main ones I think about at least is Jaws and Jurassic Park.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, I think in preparation for this, like Steven Spielberg was like, okay, I want to make Jaws again, but I want to set it on the land. Obviously taking inspiration from like movies he grew up on, like King Kong. Obviously, like I think there's even a reference, like when they're to King Kong, like when they're driving through the infamous shot of the Jurassic Park gates opening, and Ian Malcolm's like, "What have they got in there, King Kong?" And there's like he makes references to King Kong, and like he grew up on like the old Godzilla movies and like the Howard Hawks film Atari, like all this sort of stuff. That is just so, and like I was watching behind the scenes stuff of him making this movie, and just he acting like you, like as you're talking about this movie, just like excited and like a kid again.
Dude, yeah.
Because it comes through in the filmmaking.
Yeah, for sure. He has like such an amazing respect for paleontology. I used to watch like the behind the scenes for the making of the movie.
Yeah.
And just the amount they brought like so many paleontologists, like the best of the best. Dr. Jack Gentleman, Ross Geller, like they brought in so many specialists, and his love for dinosaurs just like oozes through the screen.
Yeah,
like sure, like we could get into like a 3-hour long debate on the accuracy of the dinosaurs in the movie, but that doesn't matter. This was 1993. This was a blockbuster action film, and for the time, they were pretty accurate based on what evidence we had. But sorry, I'm starting to go into paleontologist mode.
No, I mean, go for it.
I got a lot, kid. But
that's it.
Yeah, no. For the time, man, Spielberg did like just an incredible job, truly.
There was definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it. Just like he, like I always say, like I would have done the movie exactly like he did it. I could not. I like. he's me.
That's
He's
it.
the biggest. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, yeah, you've said it so beautifully there, where there was like such a level of care to it too, of like, you know, bringing in actual paleontologists to get advice on certain bits and pieces, like that. Even just the detail of like all the concept artists like going, okay, so obviously this was like the early 90s, and you know. What we know about dinosaurs is a little bit different to what they knew back then. So like, but
Mhm.
even back then in the early 90s when they were doing concept art for the dinosaurs, they're like, we got to get this sort of as sort of recent and accurate as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Even like the, you know, what we know now, and there's the famous line in the on the movie on the Alan Grant introduction talking about, you know, they're more on close to birds than, you know, lizards or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But that definitely, it's that's the thing that's made it always stand out for me, even as a kid. Of it's never treated as a generic sort of monster movie. It always has that level of
Oh,
care
that's
where they're
beautiful. That's
treated
so
as
true, dude.
like animals. So that's always been interesting. Um,
So, exactly. Speaking about that topic, that is incredibly important now that I mentioned it. That is a very good point because that's what the first like movie had.
yeah,
You know, these aren't like action movie killer monsters.
right,
You
right,
know, you have the movie Carnotaur for that, which
yeah,
is like the rip off like horror like clone of Jurassic Park. That one was like gory and violent and scary.
yeah, okay,
Jurassic Park, these are animals, and that's what they've always been. Dinosaurs are animals.
yes,
So the thing about I'm not gonna get into that whole territory just yet, but the thing about the new movies is that these dinosaurs are depicted kind of like action heroes,
right,
something
right,
that
right,
like
right,
heroes and villains, like exaggerated
right,
monsters, and I hate that. So
yeah,
Rebirth, I saw an interview that not Colin Farrell, let me think about Gareth Edwards, the
yeah,
director of the new one. He mentioned how in the new one they want to depict them as animals again, right?
okay,
And not these like monsters. Ignoring the giant mutant monster in the movies, let's not talk about that. But and that excites me a lot about the new
yeah,
one,
cool.
and that's exactly what I really like about the first one too. Now that you mentioned it, man.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, to jump forward and get specific straight off the bat, but that is always sort of even, you know, as a kid watching this for the like first few times, that's always been like one of the most impactful things. It's like, yeah, they're not treated like a generic monster like that. The infamous T-Rex sequence, the T-Rex just doesn't break out and start breaking and eating shit. It's like curious. It's like it's like
Yeah,
sniffing out the cars and stuff. And it's yeah, it's
yeah, yeah,
really, and
yeah,
I mean, obvious naturally there are some you know, monster isms to the like obviously you got to get them
for
to
sure.
eat people because
Yeah,
otherwise you got
yeah,
to make an
yeah.
interesting movie, so it's got to be some
You know, yeah,
yeah.
the Velociraptors are like, you know, the kind of like the
Oh man,
villains of the movie. You know, Velociraptors actually were like about the size of a like a chicken, right, or like a little bit
right,
smaller than a dog. But in the movie, you know, you need a killer, scary dino. You need something to scare the kids in the
dude,
theater. So
dude,
of course they made him like massive and like
yeah.
the kitchen scene.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
don't
right?
know
Like,
how I've seen this movie so many times. I don't know how I keep forgetting how frightening that end sequence is in the kitchen and them trying to get through the door. I'm like, holy, this is like fucking terrifying.
it is fucking terrifying,
And it's
dude. It's
shot
like
so well.
as a kid, like I loved this movie, but it also like when I went to bed sometimes, man, I like I shut the doors like really tight of my room. Like, what if a fucking velociraptor breaks in?
Oh man.
And it's such a different monster, right? Well, let's in this context, let's call them monsters. But
Right.
you know, as a kid, you're scared of Chucky or like I don't know, Freddy
Right.
Krueger, Jason Voorhees. But here you have a thing that actually existed. And you're like,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
dude, and the don't even get me started on like the animatronic work and the
Yes.
prosthetics and just whew,
The fucking
dude,
sound design on
terrifying,
them too, of them like
terrifying. Oh,
that noise of
dude.
them, how they communicate, how they like bark at each other is like
Oh
insane.
man.
I don't
And
know.
like the
Oh man.
the shot of the claw like tapping on the kitchen
Oh,
floor,
it's brilliant.
like it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible,
Not
and
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why Velociraptors is one are like in my top three favorite dinosaurs
Oh, that's it,
because
man.
it was this movie. It was this movie.
Well,
They're just
That's it.
terrifying.
Like, obviously, we grow up and we know, like, the T-Rex is obviously, king of the dinosaurs and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
You hear
yeah,
about this as a
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
But, like, Steven Spielberg really sort of brought the Velociraptor into the spotlight with this movie because,
Exactly.
like, definitely into the, general spotlight. But,
Like
yeah.
the mainstream discussion, yeah, for sure. You know,
And
your T-Rex or your Triceratops, but
Well, that's it. And
um,
you definitely get your array of dinosaur action in this movie. Like, you get all the different dinosaurs. So as a paleontologist guy yourself and as a massive dinosaur fan, do you feel that? Do you feel like you get like a good sense of the different like a different selection of dinosaurs, I guess you could say?
yeah, dude. No. I love the whole cast of dinos they have in the first movie. You know, the scene where they first see the Brachiosaurus and they do the shot of the whole valley, right? And you have
Right.
the Parasaurolophus drinking water in the background from the river, and it's an incredible like display. Like, it's obviously the best starting point for anybody who any kid that likes dinosaurs, or like anybody who wants to get into these movies or dinosaurs. Like, yeah, you start with Jurassic Park. You have the most like general cast of dinos. You have your T-Rex, your Trike, your Velociraptors. Really good designs for all of them. I still think the Jurassic Park designs are maybe not the most accurate, but they're still my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I love like the Jurassic Park T-Rex, dude. The first movie's T-Rex, like that animatronic.
Oh,
Dude,
how insane is that?
Come on. How insane is that fucking thing? You see the behind the scenes videos, and that thing is like life-size.
It's there.
Moving
It's
with
like
a remote controller. It is a T-Rex. It is an actual T-Rex. There's a fun story I read about Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
He talks about this in one of the dino books he made a prologue for that I was reading. He talks about how his daughters loved like dinosaurs. They always wanted to see one live, right? So he would take them to the zoo and his daughters, they would always be like, oh, Daddy, where's the dinosaurs? You promised us dinosaurs. And then he's like, okay, I'll show you dinosaurs. So he calls up Steven Spielberg, right? He's like, can we visit, Stan Winston, the headquarters, right? Can we see the animatronics and the dinos?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sure. Bring your daughters. His daughters were fucking terrified. They never wanted to see a dinosaur again.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
They started like crying as soon as they saw the T-Rex.
And
they wanted out of there immediately. And that's just, they're that good. They're that good.
That thing is that's got to be, I think, top 3 sort of I listed in special effects in a movie.
Probably like Xenomorph Queen in there. Xenomorph.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
Jurassic Park T-Rex.
Yeah.
Jabba the Hutt. Yeah,
the Hutt's always
that's got to be up there.
That's got to be the top 3 for me for sure. But that fucking head is, I don't care how many times I've seen this thing. I'm just in absolute awe of that giant head.
Dude, yeah.
How it moves too. Like Steven Spielberg was like, I saw some behind the scenes stuff on how impressed so that the animatronic on just how it moved, sort of like its head would sort of whip around like an animal would when it would hit something, but there would be no recoil. So it would just naturally move just like a real animal would, and it would just make this crazy authenticity to it, and it still looks scary. Like even that scene where I think this is correct. Like that whole scene where I forgot their names, but the 2 kids are sort of in the car by themselves after the lawyer ditches them, and the fucking T-Rex head comes straight through the ceiling.
Breaks the glass.
I'm pretty sure it was just meant to tap the glass there, just like an animal would, but it accidentally came straight through. And
it actually came through. I would need like fucking dude. My lawyers, holy shit! I would get therapy for life. Dude.
I think those kids screaming was like an actual reaction.
Actually genuine.
Because I don't think that head was meant to come straight through.
And like there's that story, and then there's a story about like the dinosaur, the head moving on its own. Apparently, I don't know if it's like a rumor or like an actual thing, but the rain on set made it malfunction.
Oh,
and
yes,
so sometimes it would move on its own.
Yeah.
Like in between breaks. Like, no, fuck you. Fuck off. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I'm out of there, dude. I'm not terrified. God.
Yeah. Oh, it's
so cool.
it's insane.
I wonder what it is. if it is there somewhere dismantled, or I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
that's
what
it.
they do with animatronics.
That's definitely. I was thinking of that too. I was like, where is that sitting now? Where the hell is that
Yeah.
thing now? Like just the head, and I mean, they obviously had to build. I think they built the head on its own. You get that they built a separate leg for the thing because obviously you get that great shot of its leg
Of the leg
soaking
in the
into the
mud.
mud in front of
Yeah.
Grant and the girl. And
And
then
the
they
little
built
girl,
like a
yeah.
whole scale thing, for, like a real full body thing for it. And then obviously you've got its CG shots, which is just impressive too because it's really great to rewatch this thing so many times and notice sort of how they combine the effects of it, where you'll get the head,
Yeah.
and then the head will go off screen, and then they'll just seamlessly seep in the whole CG body shot of the thing, and it's combining the
It's
effects is really
truly
impressive.
incredible VFX work. I don't
Yeah,
know how they pulled this off in 1993.
yeah,
Another fact is that they had Phil Tippett working on
right.
stop motion. They were
Yeah.
originally going to do stop motion for it,
Hmm.
but then it was like the CGI was starting to be a thing, and they eventually went with CGI and like I think it was a mix of CGI and like some of Phil Tippett's work
Okay, yeah,
they went with in the end,
yeah.
but it's seriously like mind blowing, dude. Like that movie, the scene in the valley with the T-Rex eating the
Oh,
gallimimesis.
dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, of course.
That's real life. That's like an actual. That
Yeah.
just looks real. That just looks real to this day. It looks incredible.
Yeah, what's so impressive about that too is like, you could I think that it looks great too in the rain, but you could obviously excuse that where it's like, okay, CG back then looks good because it's all murky and rain. But that scene, as you talked about, that's in like bright daylight too, and it still looks good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, that's it. I completely forgot about that whole sequence, but that's obviously great with the Gallimimus, is it?
It's the Gallimimus. It's two M's. It's two M's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They for the VFX for the Gallimimuses, they had the whole like VFX team run around on set as Gallimimuses.
Oh,
They had to
really?
like practice. So how they were like, okay, we don't know how a Gallimimuses would move, right? You have to kind of like imagine that for the CGI.
Yeah.
So like, there's a video of like the whole VFX teams with like their arms curled up and like running on their legs,
Oh,
just
that's
acting
so
like
great.
Gallimimus is the funniest shit ever. And they got it mostly right. It's pretty decent, and it's hilarious, and it's such a cute way of like making a movie. Like I would kill it. I would love to get hired as the Velociraptor VFX guy. I would demolish that. But it's a really good scene. It's a really good scene. It's very
Yeah.
impressive.
And to continue on sort of, because I know we're sort of on the ball here, we're talking about sort of how the practicality of the dinosaurs in this movie, but with the velociraptors, do you know if that's like a combination of like obviously puppeteer work, but also actual people, like guys in suits too?
I think yeah. I think
Because
the
there's-
shot or like in the kitchen scene where it's like the feet of the
The feet,
Velociraptor.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can
I'm
so
like sure that's like
clearly tell
you
that's
can see
someone
it.
in
It's
a
like
suit.
a guy puppeting.
It
Or
surely
like
has to
someone
be.
like his legs in a suit. Somebody
In a
some
full-
person's legs in a suit. But yeah, I mean, still scared me as a kid. I didn't notice. Like
That's it. And you
now
get
I'm
that-
like, yeah. But as a kid, it's so real. It beats CGI. I would like much rather take somebody in a suit, giving them their all, and having the claws and the feet look
Yes.
real as shit,
Yeah.
instead of just some cheap CGI, right?
It's
But
so great
it's very good.
this movie is so impactful that you just say that shot of the Velociraptor's feet, and I know exactly like anyone listening is like, oh, I know the shot you're talking
I haven't seen this movie since I was like 10, and I know like exactly what you're talking about, like on a whim.
Yeah, great practicality, but as we mentioned, like also for the time too, because I think from what I can gather, this is probably the first sort of real big budget blockbuster that really utilized CG at full force, and obviously that just paved the way for what because every blockbuster now is like CG. Not saying CG is a bad thing. Obviously, it's got its place in filmmaking. But I think this definitely uses it at the best capability, where, as we've talked about, it combines sort of the practicality.
I think that's the way to go.
I think for sure. But yeah, I mean,
if there's, oh, sorry, you go.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, if there's something that I will give to the last Jurassic World movie, Dominion, which I just felt like goosebumps run through my entire body just saying that name. Um, they did build a giant Giganotosaurus for the finale,
Ah, okay.
animatronic,
Yeah.
and it's very cool. It's very cool. They did go back to practical for the last one, like not mostly practical, but I will always be a sucker for like a giant animatronic dinosaur, right?
Oh, it always
Uh,
looks the best too.
yeah, exactly. The more tactile and real you make it,
Yes.
the better. So
And it's
yeah,
also just a
yeah,
natural thing too, where you're gonna get the best performances out of your actors anyway, because they've actually got
yeah,
something there to
yeah.
act in front of.
The damn like, dude. But going back to the point about the kids in the car, right? Like, like those are good screams because
Yeah.
the T Rex actually broke through the fucking glass,
Oh
right?
man.
So,
That whole sequence, if we can just talk about that whole sequence just for a minute,
oh,
because obviously it's
dude.
like I think it's probably the standout of what most people remember of this movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I on this rewatch, I completely forgot just how many iconic moments in just movie history where it, like you got the people in the
Yeah,
water. Um,
yeah.
you've got that they set up the whole thing with the feeding of the goat. And that great sort of bit of tension where they notice the goat's gone suddenly.
Dude, yeah. Oh man, it's fuck. You're making me giddy, man. I'm about to put this on.
That a great bit of
But
tension. Um,
it's it's just insane. It's just an insane scene. Like I said, probably most people would say that is the highlight of the movie. That's the core of like just where shit officially hits the fan.
yes,
Is the
yes,
T-Rex breakout. And if I may talk about the book for a second,
of course,
that
yes.
is also an incredible scene in the book.
Is it very
It's
similar?
very actually, to some degree, but like, dude, well, I mean, spoilers for the Jurassic Park book. If anybody listening is going to read it, cover your ears. But the T Rex actually grabs the car with the kids and throws it
Holy shit!
into a tree, and
Holy
the car struck on a tree. Like, is that realistic? I don't think so. I don't
Oh
think a T
man,
Rex would do that. But like, I was reading it and I was like, this did not fucking happen in the movie. The kids do
wow,
not get shoved across the field into a tree. But
wow.
it's like it really is a testament to how amazing of a scene it is. But it's like it's good in like both the book and the movie. It's just it's terrifying. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. The moment where like breaks out, like it bites the wires. It does one step, looks into the
Oh
left, one
man,
step, looks into the right, and then does the roar. I know that shit memorized. As a kid, I would role play that scene as I was the T Rex.
yes,
So I have the movements memorized.
yes.
I can recreate that scene verbatim.
Oh man.
Um,
I'm smiling so hard right now because I can picture the
dude,
movements of that T-Rex like as it's
oh
coming out,
man,
and the fucking like
dude,
the momentum of it just stepping left to the right, and then it sort of leans down and has that
yes,
incredible sound.
and the roar.
And the roar,
Holy
even the
shit, man,
sound
that's
design. I've
just
always been
the T
obsessed with.
Rex roar.
Oh, it's the best. I've always been obsessed too with the sound design of like the whipping sound of the wires coming loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, it's the best. And
like,
like
oh fuck,
you get
like it's
Sam
out.
Neill
This
and
fucker is out.
oh man, fucking like Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum in the car, just like with what the fuck is happening. Like it's so
Yeah,
great.
dude, it's amazing. You have the flare scene, of course.
Yes, of
Probably
course.
like one of the best looking shots, I would say. It's just the red of the flare and the T Rex all wet in the back, and it's just the blue like Costa Rica like night. It's just oh man, I should make an essay on this scene, but it's fantastic. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's good stuff. It's interesting that because I didn't know that about the book, but it's sort of funny on how that translated to the movie because that car does end up in a tree because I believe like the T-Rex ends up pushing it off. That's actually another question I've got to ask you is because obviously that sequence ends with Tim is the name of the boy, that's right.
Yeah,
He's still in the car, but the car gets pushed off into and it ends up in the tree, and then obviously Alan Grant, they've got that whole sequence where the car is falling out of the tree as he's rescuing him, which is another great sequence. We'll
yeah.
talk about that in a minute. But the geography, I've actually noticed on this rewatch, the geography of the T-Rex sort of enclosure changes halfway through that scene. It's really weird because they set up that the goat is like they've got the fence, and then obviously you've got the T-Rex enclosure behind the
Yeah.
fence there. But then all of a sudden at the end of that scene, it's like a cliff. It's just like this straight cliff where the car is dangling. It's really weird, and I've never noticed that before until I was like, oh wait, hang on a second, what happened to the enclosure? It's just sort of like a
I
drop
have
down
not
now.
noticed that.
It's really.
I have
but,
not
I mean,
noticed that either, dude. Yeah.
it goes credit to the movie because you don't notice it because you're so swept up in sort of the action of it.
Yeah, you just completely sucked in. Dude,
But that's sort of interesting. But I mean, like in terms of like translation of the characters too, because I think we do have to talk about the incredible cast in this movie. You got Sam Neill is obviously Alan Grant, who is
Greatest of all
amazing.
time. Greatest of all time.
Yeah, he really is great. And I mean, like, I do want to touch on I do want to get your opinions on the sequels in a moment, because I know he obviously appears in the third one.
In Dominion, yeah.
Which is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Well, okay. Pause.
Okay.
You say what?
Third one is definitely a guilty pleasure.
Dude, I'm looking at my screen like I'm giving you like T-Rex eyes right now, dude. Where the T-Rexes are looking into the car and they flash like the flashlight in the eye. I'm giving you that look, dude. I let it slide.
The third one is fantastic, but I think for different
Wait.
reasons.
Are we talking about? Hold on. Before I get this, are we talking about Dominion or Jurassic Park 3?
Oh no, Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, dude. Oh, you should have said that. I thought you were talking about Dominion.
No. Sorry. No. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Don't even get me started on Jurassic Park 3.
No, Jurassic Park
that is
3.
The greatest movie of all time. Greatest movie of all time. If Jurassic Park 3 has no shooters, I'm dead. That's like I would honestly go. This is a whole another topic, but I have the same love for Park 1 as Park 3. Actually, I have them in the same level. I don't know what it is about 3. I've watched 3 more than the first one.
Really?
There's just something about the Spinosaurus that gets me.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other topic.
Scary.
That's a whole other topic.
The third one, I do want to touch on this. I do want to get into sort of in-depth talk regarding the sequels with you in just a minute. But the third one, for me, why I like it, I do quite like the third one, but for completely different reasons. Like we were talking about just before, how the first one treats the dinosaurs so naturally like animals, but in the third one they're just so clearly like movie monsters, which I do like. But it does have its place.
It's a nice balance.
It is a nice balance. The third one is definitely very popcorn movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean as you mentioned, we got to talk about the characters. So like Alan Grant, who is obviously phenomenal. His whole arc too about I always forget when rewatching this movie, and I always love it, of his arc of like growing like at the start of the movie just is completely in hatred of children. And obviously through the movie, like through Lex and Tim, sort of becomes more accepted, because him and Ellie Sattler, I believe. Yeah, Ellie Sattler, they're in a relationship. Is that right? Yes.
Were they the first? I can't remember. I think no. I think he's like.
Oh no, they are, because they get that scene. Him and Jeff Goldblum talk about where Jeff Goldblum's trying to hit on her, and he's like, I do remember now. I think they are in a relationship, but in the third one,
that part is blurry, honestly. For me.
Yeah. But yeah, do you have like a favorite character or anything like that, or one that stands out?
Well, dude, of course I'm gonna have to go with Alan Grant. I know it might be a basic pick, but I mean that, as a kid, seeing this like badass paleontologist on screen, right? I felt like I was watching like what I wanted to be, the man I wanted to become, pretty much. It's just so the cowboy hat, the little like red scarf and like the fit. It's just probably, I would say, he's like my favorite main character of like any movie. It's just Sam Neill is just incredible. Ever since that movie, I've grown incredibly fond of Sam Neill. I follow him on social media and his posts about his goat farm.
Oh, he's great.
He's amazing.
He's great.
And I've loved him in all the movies pretty much.
His introduction to this one is fantastic of him like
Yeah,
traumatizing that
just the
kid.
Velociraptor
Yeah,
claw.
sets up how scary the Velociraptor is, which is great because, like as we mentioned, that's needed because obviously most people going into this movie in the early '90s would have no idea about the Velociraptor, so it's good that they set that up.
Yeah.
With that kid, that great kid who's like, it looks more like a giant turkey, and then
Like,
fucking
I'm
Sam
gonna
Neill,
kill you. He's like telling Chris like I'm gonna murk you, dude.
Sam Neill just like
Don't
takes no,
talk about them like
yeah,
that.
no consideration that this kid's about 10 years old and just talks about. He just walks right up to this kid and says, like, pretends to gut him with the fucking raptor claw, which is incredible. Um,
It's insane, dude.
Richard Attenborough, man, as John Hammond, which is
Oh,
always phenomenal. He's
dude.
great. He's probably my favorite character, I reckon. Even though I think from you could probably confirm this for me, but his character gets probably the biggest change from the book to the
Absolutely. Yeah, Hammond in the book, um, is what I would call pretty much like a villain.
Yeah,
He's a
okay.
straight up villain in the
Yeah.
book. I don't know how much I want to get into spoilers, but
Just
his
go for it.
fate is different. Let's just say that he gets eaten alive by compies, the little green ones.
Oh, okay.
In the
Okay.
book,
Yeah.
completely different. In the movie, he makes it out, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He
He
does.
does. He's in the second one. No, he gets eaten alive in the book. He's a villain. He's an asshole, super hateable. So it was like a clash between what perception I had of like Attenborough, Hammond, compared to this like capitalist, greedy
Yeah.
asshole Hammond in the book.
Yeah.
But yeah. Attenborough just brings like this lovely like grandpa
Oh,
like
how good is
vibe
he?
to the character. Just so good, man.
He's like
Just so
a
good.
Walt Disney type where he's definitely
Yeah.
he's the oldest one on the island but acts like the youngest. Like he's got this such like boyish
Like,
sort of excitement about it to
yeah.
everything. Even when shit goes south really quickly, he's still got this like grand optimism about it and like
Yeah, like, oh, it's gonna be okay. So we could open. We can still open, dude.
we can
Trust
still
me, we can still
open,
open.
we can always try again. And yeah, you get that great scene where Ellie's like, shit is going wrong, like people are dying out there. And he's like, it's great. That whole scene is great where he's sort of talking about he set up like a flea circus when he was younger, and that's sort of triggered his imagination of like the tangible reality of sort of something that's not really there. And that sort of kickstarted his old thing of like wanting to bring dinosaurs back. Even the whole science, that's a good point to bring up too. The whole science of how they bring these dinosaurs back to, I've always been a fan of like the mosquitoes trapped in
The
the
mosquito
sap.
blood, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty genius, honestly. Yeah, it's very good. The scene where the little Velociraptor hatches. So they have the little like animatronic, like
Oh
bloody
yeah, of course.
Velociraptor coming out of the egg. It's just so cute. I love like the genetics of the world. It's a very interesting topic.
It's great too
And
that
the
they
morality
Yes.
of it all too. It's dwelled much more. It's like they go into much more detail about it in the book. That's one of the
Okay.
things I love the most
Yeah.
about playing God and everything,
Yeah.
and tampering with life,
Yeah.
and how pretty much the whole thing about the book is that these things are not dinosaurs, right? These are genetic
Yeah.
abominations. They're like clones. These are not like legitimate.
Yeah.
There's some incredible scenes in the book about this. Malcolm, I would say Malcolm is, well, he's not the main character in the book, but he's way more prominent.
Okay.
He gets a lot of dialogue. He goes on a lot of like philosophical rambles about, life finds a way and everything. I think Goldblum was the perfect fit.
Oh, how
for
good is
Malcolm.
he? Goldblum is so
fucking
fucking
amazing,
amazing.
dude.
He's got the leather jacket on. Oh my
The
god.
glasses. Like,
Obsessed.
if you read the book,
Yeah.
both Jurassic Park and the Lost World,
Yeah.
you cannot imagine anybody but a Goldblum in the role. Like, I was just reading all his dialogue with Goldblum's voice in my head. He's like Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, like type
Yeah,
level
that's a good
casting.
comparison.
That's perfect. He's perfect. Nobody else could do it.
Oh my
Nobody.
god. Even his his introduction in the helicopter when they're flying to the island, and like he's such a rock star. He's immediately hitting on Laura Dern. He's like, Dr. Sadler,
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that you aren't familiar with the concept of attraction. He's so good.
Dude.
His fucking laugh too. Oh my God, he's the best. He's and as you mentioned, like he definitely gets the strongest sort of stuff in the movie regarding the morality and sort of how wrong this is, because like that great scene after they sort of get the initial that whole after the crew gets that invite to the island and they all sort of get the very bare basics bone of the show around of
Yeah.
what the island is, and all of them just shut it down. And you know, um, Ian Malcolm's pretty much saying, you know, this is like rape of the natural world, which is, I think, a direct line he actually says. And, you know, dinosaurs had their chance. You know, nature chose them for extinction. And it's like this, what you're doing is just completely morally upsetting, that you're going against the grain there and bringing them back. So, and that obviously, you know, as you mentioned, life finds a way, obviously, which has become its own sort of famous thing
Yeah.
within the movie.
Iconic.
And obviously Ian is correct, because later on in the movie that actually does end up happening, because I believe from what happens, they birth all the dinosaurs as female. So they man obviously thinks they are in complete control of sort of being in control of the population. But obviously even though they are that is really interesting actually, of how they're just genetics somehow just go against that and start morphing on their own, which is great.
Yeah, dude. It's such a good discussion to have, when the news about the dire wolf being brought back and everything that just broke out.
Oh yeah,
right
I
now.
did see something about that.
And like, it's a testament to how important Jurassic Park is to the conversation of genetics and de-extinction. When the dire wolf news break out, and then everybody's first thought is like, there's a movie that tells you not to do this, right?
Yes, exactly.
And like every thread is about like, Jurassic Park this, Jurassic Park that.
Wow.
At what point is it morally correct? Are we getting in extinction's way? Should we do it? Your scientists were so real preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think whether or not they should.
Yes.
Just fantastic, man. The book is really good for that. The book is really, really good for that too.
I'm gonna have to get around to doing it. I'm reading it. You
should, dude. It's part of me thinks it's better than the movie. Actually,
really?
It's every concept that's touched in the movie. It's like really amplified in the book. It's just fantastic. But, man, yeah, it's just a very, how do you say it? Like, constant like topic of conversation. And Jurassic Park always comes up. It's like the example to follow. Like don't make them. Do not do this.
We've got one of the biggest movies ever to teach us not to do this shit. But even some of the lesser characters too are great. Like I always forget somehow that Sam Jackson's in this movie as just like one of the computer guys.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah,
Mr. Arnold. And like you got Bob Peck there, who's like I don't know if he's meant to be playing like the Australian guy, like the big game hunter type, who's like sort of
Muldoon.
The clever girl guy. Even fucking Wayne Knight as Dennis Nedry, the fucking oh my god, that whole scene where he's trying to he's so good.
Asshole.
Yeah, that whole scene where he's like driving through the rain trying to get that thing, and then what's the official name of the
Dilophosaurus?
Yes,
that's the Dilophosaurus.
That sequence is terrifying.
That sequence in the book is like the scariest fucking thing.
Really?
When people point to you, like when you ask people, what's the biggest difference about the book and the movie, they will probably say the Nedry's death.
Really?
I'm not gonna go into detail about it here because it's like terrifying.
Is it similar?
He does get spit in the face.
Yeah.
But there's a very like description of him going blind in real time.
Oh,
and
man.
how the Dilophosaurus like guts him alive and open. And it's like insane. It's like I was reading it with my eyes like wide open, just comparing it to the movie in my head. the movie definitely went with like, he gets spit on and then he gets like killed off screen in the car. You can see the car shaking.
The car shaking,
But
yeah, that's great.
in the book, they go into like the biggest detail about how this guy's guts are spilling out of his
Oh my
body. It's
God.
insane. And the Dilophosaurus is accurate in the book and not in the movie. The Dilophosaurus was actually huge. It was
Oh,
actually
really?
taller than a person. In
In the
book,
movie, it's like the size of like a dog or something.
yeah, they're like little like lizards. They do the frail thing, which they actually didn't do in real life. There's no evidence to suppose that they,
Ah, okay.
they have frails or spit venom. Spielberg like added that, or was it Crichton? No, Crichton added that as a
Yeah.
little like like let's make it more exciting, right?
Yes, yeah.
But awesome scene. I love seeing bad guys get their due in movies in like super gory ways. I love
it's so
that.
good.
Like Jurassic Park villain deaths. Like every Jurassic Park movie has the villain being eaten by something. It's awesome. I love when capitalists get eaten alive with dinosaurs. It's the best.
Even the fucking the lawyer gets eaten on the toilet, which is great. I don't know if
Dude,
that's in the book, but it should
talk
be.
about that.
That makes me laugh so hard every time.
It's such a good death scene, dude. I think it's the first T-Rex kill in the movie.
It's so slapsticky too. Of like the fucking. It always makes me laugh on the lawyer can
reading the newspaper.
It's so because like he's sitting on the toilet for like whatever reason, and then he can hear the T-Rex running towards him, and like he shuts the bathroom door like that's gonna do anything. Like that always makes me laugh. Like this just frail little bathroom door. And it's like a fucking
hilarious.
Charlie Chaplin bit where all the walls fall around him and he's just left.
Literally, it's just him and the T-Rex. He wipes his face like,
yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. That's always one too that like as like a 6-year-old just like ingrained in my memory of just like they don't shy away from that. Or even though there's no actual visceral gore, but you definitely see the T-Rex like pick him up with his feet.
Like eating him like halfway through, shaking him around. Like that's big. That's big for like PG-13 too.
Yeah.
It's very. I think it's the kill that's most cemented in my head.
I think it is the most visceral one in the movie. It's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head where you actually see
like Clever Girl, it's like just the bushes rambling.
Of course,
Nedry car rambling, but like this guy just thrown around completely.
I mean that whole
crazy.
scene where that great sequence too, where we'll touch on in a minute of Laura Dern in the control panel getting the electricity back on, and then like Sam Jackson's arm falls on her, which is pretty visceral.
Oh yeah.
That's like a whole slasher sequence too, with the she's trapped in that control panel room with the raptor is great.
The raptors, I love it. I love that raptors, both in the book and the movie, are treated as the villains of the every Jurassic movie has like a villain dinosaur, and I love that shit. Pretty much like the whole third act with the raptors, it's just the movie turns to a slasher. It's great. It's honestly really, really great.
The whole third act is fantastic. Like trying to lock the room of where they are and trying to separate them from the raptors. Obviously the kitchen, which we briefly touched on. That I think maybe the standout image of the movie is when the code is projected onto
the code is reflected on the Velociraptor. I knew you were going to say that.
Oh my god,
I was waiting for you to say that,
dude! I lose my shit every time.
That's my Letterboxd header. That's like, oh, dude! And actually, the code that reflected on it is the genetic code of the dinosaurs.
Oh my god, it's unbelievable. I know it's like the most sort of obvious, like sort of go-to image of the movie, but god,
it's for a reason, dude.
Oh,
it's for
so
a reason.
Good.
It's
one of those things
shot.
too as a kid where you watch that where you're like, oh, that looks cool because it's like numbers on.
Yeah, but as an adult, with like,
oh my god,
film bro brain, you're like, holy shit, that is fucking.
Yeah. The other thing too. Yeah, exactly. The other thing too, a lot of people like to point out and think they're smart and saying so, which it is clever of when the initial landing of the island, we're in the helicopter, and that you get that sort of funny whimsical moment of Sam Neill trying to buckle up his seatbelt, but he only has two of the same pieces. Like he doesn't have a piece to click in. They're like two
Yeah.
output pieces. So he just sort of ties them and straps it in. So that's sort of like making like Life Finds a Way of like, you know, two
Yeah.
female ends. So it's like that sort of reverberates back into what they'll discover about the dinosaurs. So I'm like, oh, that's sort of clever.
Yeah, dude, it's just so many little good bits and pieces. I'm really excited for my rewatch soon with my girlfriend because it's just I can't wait to see it with like new lens, right? Like after knowing everything and
Yeah.
learning so much about it over the years, leading up to the new one. So it's gonna be great. It's such a special. It's just perfect. It's just a perfect timeless movie, you know.
It pretty much is. It's definitely one where I feel like it is definitely one too where you can find new appreciation out of different aspects through different rewatches too. Whether it be from like the mechanics of sort of the dinosaurs on the behind the scenes of that, or even just sort of intricate little character moments. I do want to get your opinion because I've been teasing it a little bit throughout the discussion here, but I do want to get your of the sequels. Do you do you have a would this be fair to say this is your favorite Jurassic Park movie out of all the ones they've made? Or do you
I
have
would
a
say
favorite?
maybe, yeah. It depends on the weather, really. It could be three or it can be this one.
Yeah.
But I love them very, very dearly. There's something about three, the Spinosauruses, the more like violent, mean. Three's a meaner movie. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
it
know if you
is, isn't
remember
it?
the shot of like the raptors like digging his claw and like the guy's his
Yeah.
back, and you can hear the crunching. And the guy crying for his life as the Spinosaurus like is coming for him. Like three is mean. It's like 2000s, more like blockbuster, exactly like you said, blockbuster horror movie. It's like the Spinosaurus is fucking terrifying.
Mhm.
You know, they kill the T-Rex in that one.
That's
It's a
right. They
banger.
do
It's a
too, don't
banger.
they?
It's I was pissed as a kid, but now I've grown fond of the Spinosaurus. So I'll accept that. But I love three a lot. The Lost World is actually the one I'm really excited about to rewatch because
Yeah.
that one I've only seen once.
Oh,
I've only
really?
seen The Lost World once.
Yeah.
As a kid, I have very like faint images of it. The
Yeah.
book is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But I remember like, you know, it's the one that people are like, it's all right. The Lost
Yeah.
World's all right. It's like 3 stars. You know, it's
Okay,
perfectly
yeah.
smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
I love 3. I know people don't like it that much, but I love it. I love how campy the Velociraptor dream sequences.
Oh my god, I forgot about that it talks. Oh, that's
Alan
so funny.
talking.
Oh, it's so good.
It's such a good time, man.
Three stood out in my mind, if I could just quickly say, because that's the one where I feel like in this one we don't really get a good sort of scope of how fast the Raptors can move. But from memory, I think we get a really good sort of showcase of how fast those things can run in the third one.
It's also had the best Raptor design, the Raptor with the coils and the red stripe.
Oh, so
best
good.
Raptor design in the franchise.
Great design. Yeah, that is great.
And then we move on to the World trilogy, which you know a lot of people have very strong thoughts about.
Mhm.
I actually am a really big shooter for the first World movie. I fucking loved World. I saw it release day on the theater. I walked out of that screaming. I fucked with it a lot, you know, as a kid. You know, Chris Pratt, like Owen Grady was like the coolest motherfucker ever. You know, like motorbike scene with the Raptors. Right now, you know, I've grown up and I realize just how ridiculous that whole concept is, but it's still fun. It's
fun. Yeah.
2015 blockbuster. We have strayed. The quicker you accept that we have strayed so completely far from the original concept of the franchise, the better. Like these are action movies now, whether you like it or not. World was really cool. I love the trained Raptors thing. I love the Indominus Rex. That's my guy. I fucking love the Indominus. Such a cool creature. Fallen Kingdom. It's kind of a Lost World situation where I'm like, I should rewatch. I remember not liking it that much, but the third act in the manor where it turns into a horror movie with the Indoraptor.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's sort of fun.
The coolest shit. I don't know what the fuck got into J.A. Bayona that just injected all of the sauce into the third act of that movie. Like the shot of the Indominus, the Indoraptor, like roaring into the moonlight is like the fucking one of the coolest shots in the franchise, in my opinion. I don't know where that was the rest of the movie. I get heated when I talk about Fallen Kingdom because there's so much potential there. J.A. Bayona is an incredible director. It's a really good looking movie too.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Fallen Kingdom, but it is really good looking.
But like, where was that the rest of the movie, man? Like, anyways, I'm excited for the rewatch. You know, it'll be. I'll point at the screen when the moonlight shot comes up. But if my girlfriend is hearing this, get ready because that's gonna happen. And well, we got the big fish. We got the 1.5 letterbox review. Dominion. All right.
Oh man, you were like, you were. Your reputation with this movie is like...
I'm like scratching my head.
Unbelievable. It's so funny.
On one hand, I'm thankful for it because it is the main reason I have the following and like the main reason why I made so many friends today is because
that's fantastic.
That fucking video that my friend made, my friend Kenny, he's not on tour anymore. Shout out Kenny. I love him. He made that video and it just completely blew up. I gained like 1,000 something followers overnight.
That's fantastic.
I saw that video on Instagram, like IRL friends sent that to me. Like, is this you? I saw that video on Reddit.
That's so funny.
Like, dude, oh my fucking god! Like that was my. And in my mind, I always knew that movie was gonna suck a little bit, but not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I was like positive for it. Dominion's bad, dude. What the fuck was up with the Locust shit?
Yeah, see, this is the thing where it's like, it was that viciously bad, but if you asked me to tell you anything about that movie now, I couldn't, because it's just nothing. I can't remember a single thing about it, despite the fact I am aware it's so atrocious. It's really weird.
I can't. It's such a, like, I know I just said, like, you have to accept these are action movies, but to a degree, like, this one was, like, they had like motorcycle chases in like the streets of like Spain with like velociraptors and like guns and like whoa. Okay, wait. Like, you know, it's
the dinosaur Ghostbusters.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude, that's the thing too. Like, you just reminded me of, like, I haven't thought about this stuff in years, but that's so they had like the setup for the funnest concept there of like wrangling these dinosaurs in like the real world.
They do nothing with it,
and they do nothing.
The movie
with
ends where it began. They're like, fuck it, they're just with us now.
You could have so
am I right?
much fun there.
What? God. Oh, dude,
actually, have you ever seen this? I think it's the British TV series Primeval.
I know it. Yeah, I used to watch clips of it. I never saw it in full, but I used to watch clips of it on YouTube. Yeah, I know it.
See, that whole series, like, I was a big fan of that series as a kid. That whole series
it's a cool concept.
Is Dominion, but like the better version of it, of like dinosaurs in real world scenarios, and them like a Ghostbusters team trying to.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. What pissed me off too is before Dominion came out, Colin Trevorrow, the director of Dominion, made a short film, Battle at Big Rock. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have seen that, yeah.
That was a banger.
That's like the drive-in theater, right?
That's the one with the camping, the family that goes camping, and an Allosaurus comes through and like wrecks their shit. Okay, that's what I wanted, dude.
Yeah,
that was so. I watched that.
Yeah.
I watched that and I was like, holy shit, Dominion's gonna be a banger. And then like, they did nothing with it. They spent half the movie in the fucking Viocin Valley.
Oh, it's really weird.
Well, this fucking... No, I'm kind of complicated. But they have this butt ugly Giganotosaurus. This fucking hideous design.
Yeah.
Hideous Giganotosaurus. Not accurate at all. He's just ugly. They have this finale where like the T-Rex and the Therizinosaurus like team up and like kill it, and like the thunder strikes when they roar, and it's like... And the T-Rex recreates the logo by like,
oh my god,
fuck off! This
so
movie,
bad, dude. I forgot about all that. I have no recollection of.
I close my eyes and I see that fucking movie, man. Holy shit! Thank God I'm home alone at the moment of recording this because I'm fucking screaming. Right now.
That's so funny.
Oh, and like, don't even get me started on them bringing back the original cast.
Oh, that's right. They brought everyone back,
dude. The key jingling, the fucking Sam Neill saying like "don't move," like he said the thing, like
so bad.
Goldblum in Fallen Kingdom worked. I liked that. I didn't mind.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the entire thing, in the time where like Laura Dern and Sam Neill and like it's just they tried so hard to be like Jurassic Park like Endgame.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to.
That's what I said in my
That's
review.
what it is. That's exactly what that is actually. They tried to Marvelize a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, no, the way I mentioned it in my review, I called it the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
that's Jurassic Park.
That's spot on.
Like that's just what it is. It's soulless. And when it comes to Rebirth, I'm very optimistic about it. I'm optimistic
because you're really
about
excited
the
for this.
team.
Yeah.
I'm an optimist. I'm a hopeless optimist. But everybody's like bookmarking my tweets saying it's gonna be good. But they got the writer of the original back on. They got David Coep.
Oh, really?
David Coep is writing this one.
Oh, okay.
He's made some stinkers along the way, but he made the original. I'm gonna ignore the stinkers. I'm just gonna think about the original.
He has written some really good stuff.
Yeah, he's like kind of all over the place, but I'm hopeful, right?
Yeah.
He made the first one.
Yeah, of course.
Gareth Edwards, Godzilla director. I'm a big shooter of Godzilla 2014.
Of course,
I think Gareth Edwards can shoot a monster really fucking good.
Yeah.
That's what excites me. That's why I'm so open to the concept of the mutant dinosaur they're showing. Because Gareth Edwards' like style of shooting like a creature like in the dark or like in contrast with like red strobing lights or some shit like that, like being hidden in the shadows, like he's gonna cook. I have a feeling he's gonna cook with the mutant dinosaur. I'm open to that concept. I think it's cool. It ties back to the whole like, don't do this shit, don't play God. It's a wildly different thing. I know paleontologists are gonna have a heart attack with this movie, but I still think it's really cool. The movie looks great. The color palette, the color grading. I mean, it's Jonathan Bailey is in it. My Pookie Bear. I love Jonathan Bailey. It just looks really, really fun, man. It just looks really, really fun. I'm very hopeful. Spinosaurus is back.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping for the best, dude.
See,
I
am holding my reserve back a little bit. It does look a little too Jurassic World for me, but I wasn't aware that Kiev was writing it.
It is still the Jurassic World brand after all, but I hope, you know, you should read the Variety interview with Trevorrow. He goes like into crazy detail about it, about how they're trying to go back into the horror, you know, dinosaurs as animals and like make it more grounded. Just parentheses, ignore the mutant T-Rex. But aside from that, it all sounds really good. I'm just praying for the best, man. That now watching tweet, whenever I drop the now watching tweet, that's going to be the most decisive moment of my life.
I know. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat.
That's going to be like the Balta Super Bowl almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I don't know. We'll have to. Are they planning on doing another trilogy out of this one with Scarlett Johansson, or is it just going to be a one-off?
I don't know.
See how we go, or?
I don't know. No news on that. I think.
See what island? What fucking island are they going to in this new one?
It's a new one that's apparently like Site C. I think they're like, hey, there's another island where we tested out dinosaurs in. This is where the hybrids and the fuck-ups went to. I thought Sorna was the fuck-ups.
That's so funny.
It's
but part of I know that's the thing. You got to sort of. It's a fucking dinosaur movie, so you've obviously got to display disbelief somewhat.
I don't want to use the term like turn your brain off. I hate that term, but like you said, suspension of disbelief. Like, okay, we only had one trailer, and I actually wasn't a big fan of the trailer they released.
No, neither.
It was like kind of like comedy, like PG-13ish.
Yeah.
And then they made a Super Bowl spot without the jokes, and it was so much better.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I like, just wait. I'll just wait and see.
That's it. I mean, it's right around the corner anyway, so won't have to wait.
Yeah, it's close.
Hopefully,
it's close. Probably a second trailer soon. Yeah. Probably. But yeah, man.
I mean, Gareth Edwards is a naturally good fit because I too think that first Godzilla movie is definitely fantastic. And then because he went on to do Rogue One, I think.
Yeah, banger. I love Rogue One.
So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think it definitely has the potential. I do a part of me does wish they just went back to the park title because I'm sick of seeing World on everything.
Yeah, me too.
That would have been really neat to see, but I guess that's the brand now, because obviously those movies made a. I never all three of those Jurassic World movies I think are just complete stinkers.
Not a fan.
No, I mean the first one. I think the first one has some stuff going on. But I guess that ties back into why I'm a bit nervous about the new one. I'm not a big fan of the whole genetic sort of making up your own dinosaur thing.
Yeah, no. It's
I think
it's a
naturally though,
controversial topic.
the new thing looks sort of interesting because it's so it almost looks like an alien. So I guess they're doing something. I don't know. I can't say too much because I haven't seen too much from it. So I'm gonna hold my tongue and hold any reservations because but yeah, I mean, it's so funny to go back because it's making this first one we're talking about look so sort of nuanced and sort of so smaller and contained compared to where we are now with the franchise. So that's been really funny. And obviously, like we talked about the sort of discussion about, it's a new island. So that's that's really funny.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man.
But yeah, I mean, probably, I don't know. Have we got anything else we want to talk about with Jurassic Park before pivoting towards final thoughts, maybe?
What am I thinking, man? Well, of course, we gotta talk about a little bit about the closing shot of the T-Rex roaring and when dinosaurs rule the Earth banner falling. Like that's it, dude. That's the money shot. That's the people in their lifetimes, they wish to create something as cool as that. I think
the fact too that T-Rex saves them at the end is it's the perfect pin drop to end.
It's so cool. It's so cool, man. I don't know. I think I'm not done. I could talk about forever, but in general terms, I think we covered pretty much all the most iconic moments, the characters. I think we did a pretty decent job. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So definitely, probably pivoting towards final thoughts on Jurassic Park. So definitely, sort of any lines of dialogue we may have missed out, or any shots or moments. Just even talking about that final shot with the banner coming down. I love the fact too that the sort of end set piece is happening on the fossilized dinosaur, which is a really clever visual of them fighting the raptors on the skeleton of another one, which is really fun. Obviously there's a lot of lines I felt like we've definitely left out, but I mean there's just too many too many fucking lines in there that are just so great. And then
it's timeless, dude. Yeah. And another one that came to mind is the shot with them perched up on a tree and seeing all the brachiosauruses.
Oh yeah, of course.
Little section, also beautiful. It's just like I said, it's perfect. It's perfectly made. It's so perfectly written, perfectly shot, perfectly acted. I don't think I could ever have a note for this movie ever. Really, it's just man. It's what else can I say?
That's it. That would probably do us from on Jurassic Park. So we got the big one out of the way. We got the big mama out of the way. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back. We're talking Showgirls.
So what are you going to Vegas for? You gonna win?
I'm gonna dance.
There's a spot open in the chorus line. We're auditioning tomorrow morning. I think you should try out.
I got an audition!
Okay, ladies, I got one interest here, and that's the show. I don't care whether you live or die. I want to see you dance, and I want to see you smile. I can't use you if you can't smile. I can't use you if you can't show. I can't use you if you can't sell.
From the creators of Basic Instinct, the last time they took you to the edge. This time, they're taking you all the way.
We take the cash, we cash the check, we show them what they want to see.
You got more natural talent when you dance than anybody I've ever seen.
She's going down to the Stardust. She's gonna be in the show.
Great! If someone gets in your way, step on them. It's not fair.
It's not about fair. It's about power. You're a stripper, don't you get it?
I'm a dancer.
All right, we are back and we are talking Showgirls, the 1995 erotic drama film with a cast of a Elizabeth...
Little contrast from Jurassic Park. But...
Jurassic Park, the erotic dinosaur film. No, Showgirls obviously stars Elizabeth Berkley, Carl McLaughlin, Gina Gershon, Glenn Plummer, and Robert Darby, and of course is directed by the madman Paul Verhoeven. Oh my gosh! So, to start off the episode, we talked about a Balta classic, something that Balta was very familiar with. Definitely ingrained his DNA with Jurassic Park lore and all the rest of it. It's time to shift gears into a perverted Jack classic, Showgirls.
Jack Altimer.
Balta grew up on Jurassic Park. Jack grew up on Showgirls. That's how we go around these times. No, that's not true. That's not true. This was obviously a first time watch for you. And so Balta, let's have it, man. What was our first what was our first impressions?
No, dude, it was, I guess it sounds simple, but like the first word that comes to mind is wild. It was wild. Like the movie ended, credits rolled, and I was like just staring at my screen like, wow, that was crazy. Like that was a pure, I can't imagine. That movie's probably what it feels like to visit Las Vegas for the first time. Just like a shot of like just stimuli and like everything going on all the time. I enjoyed it. I'm not. You mentioned it that it was like considered one of the worst movies like of all time, or something. Like no, it's not that. I didn't go crazy for it, but like I definitely enjoyed my time with it.
Good.
It was.
I was
it had a lot of sauce. No, dude, I had a lot of good things in it. I'm eager to talk about what I liked, but it definitely passed the Balta. It's like,
that's fantastic.
As I was watching it, I was just thinking like, think about the podcast, like what the fuck does this have to do with Jurassic Park, man? Like, this is like the polar opposite of Jurassic Park, but it was a good time, dude. It was a crazy time.
Yeah, fantastic. Are you so obviously directed by Paul Verhoeven, obviously of movies? He's made some absolute classics. So obviously ones that came out before this, stuff like RoboCop, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, which I think came out just before this, which is a fantastic movie. And then I think just after this, the movie he made right after this was Starship Troopers. So just an absolute insane lineup of 90s genre work. And as Balta mentioned just before, this was, I think, completely embarrassing, but this was absolutely panned as just flat out one of the worst movies ever. Ruined so many careers, this movie. Elizabeth Berkley, the main actress in this movie, just completely derailed her career. She was never in anything again, from what I can, off the top of my head. And definitely, I think, because Paul Verhoeven went on to make Starship Troopers right after this, but after that, he had a little more subtle American movies, but then didn't make anything for a long while. So this was like a career-ending project for quite a few people.
Dude, I didn't know that.
Which in retrospect now, because it has been hailed as such a cult classic, I think this is like just genuinely in my top 20 movies of all time. I think there is some questionable stuff in it, but I think it's all intentional.
Right, it's part of the charm, part of the
charm. I think this is an incredible piece of practicality. There is some incredible sort of set design, location work, insane physicality in the performances. It does lend back. Have you seen any of other Paul Verhoeven's movies? I'll just quickly.
I've seen RoboCop, which actually I've seen it recently. I've seen it like 2 weeks ago with one of my friends, Maddie. Banger, absolute banger.
It's phenomenal. definitely lends itself, like all of Paul Verhoeven's movies are exactly like one Paul Verhoeven movie will be exactly like the next one. Like they're all sort of this exaggerated cartoon
Yeah.
level. Even in this movie where there's no like there's not
Yeah, no
necessarily
fantastical elements, none of that. But it's still like exaggerated, like vibrant,
exactly right.
like movie, yeah.
Like even like I think to get straight off the bat, like all like his action and sort of violence in his movies is so visceral and so exaggerated and cartoon level. While there's not any
Yeah.
sort of violence in this, there may be some at the end, but like all sort of the sex scenes in this movie are like really cartoonish and larger. It's really interesting that like he sort of trades in the sex here for what he normally would be putting in that energy for the violence.
It's very fun. I like, I didn't know like this was the same guy behind RoboCop. I actually just went in like blind. I really was super blind.
Yeah.
Then I was like, this very Verhoeven guy. I was watching this movie and it felt so like pulpy, like 90s ish, like so exaggerated, so ridiculous at times. It felt like, in a way, I don't know how to put this into words, like an action movie.
It 100% feels like an action movie. Yeah,
it is an action movie about like Las Vegas dancers. Like that's how it feels like. I was like, this feels like RoboCop, but it's about like strippers. And now I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the guy who made RoboCop. Like I fucking get it.
Yeah,
like it's like rough and violent and flashy and pulpy and campy and like this is RoboCop with another coat of paint. Like it makes so much sense when you like put it together that way.
I'm so happy that that's a fantastic way to put it. It's definitely like I think a part of like this was a massive bomb too, obviously, as well as commercial and critical failure. Like this was the first time I think they were really pushing for like I don't know if you get it in Argentina. We certainly don't get it here in Australia, but like an NC-17 rating where it's like higher than like an R, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because it's like borderline. Like a lot of people like the amount, the just insane copious amount of nudity was just like flat out considered this like a softcore porno.
It was yeah. It sometimes dwells into the porn territory, but I could definitely see why. And like nearing the end, there's some really heavy shit like in there too. Like this is definitely like a R-rated. Like I'm not a doubt in my mind why it got that rating over there. Because like, dude, come on. And also probably the reason why it bombed. One of the reasons why it bombed so hard, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Like obviously, if you limit yourself to a very like, even though you would have had a lot of people trying to sneak in, but then I think this obviously boomed really hard on sort of the physical media release of people watching it at home, and definitely sort of over time since its initial release has definitely gained a cult following because there is some incredible stuff going on in this movie. Some definitely some questionable performances that I think work because I think there's
it works, dude. It's charming. Yeah,
not an ounce of this should definitely be taken seriously because I don't think anyone making it, especially Paul Verhoeven, the director, wasn't taking it seriously. Like it's I don't know. He's clearly going for like, I think his inspiration was, I want to make sort of the classy, high budget musical with all the set pieces and everything, but make it just this dirty, like erotic sort of fantasy thing set in Las Vegas. And it's fucking insane.
It is insane. It is insane. That's a great way of like putting it. Actually, that's exactly, if that's what he was going for when like he hit it, like absolutely hit it.
Yeah. I mean, you get and that's the other thing too is I always forget how like it's not like a short movie either. It's like over 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours 11 minutes.
Completely set in sort of like I don't know, like a coming to America type thing of like, you know, I'm gonna go to Las Vegas and start a career up and get famous from it. But it's all backstabbing and disgusting, and it's like
like slimy, like you see behind the scenes of everything, and like, you know, it's I guess it's a cynical movie at its core. It is absolutely a cynical film.
Head.
Like by the end of the third act, you know, nearing the end of the movie, I was like, like a pit on my stomach. Like, yeah, like this, like the American dream, like Las Vegas, the what's it called, the show business. You know, it's just like run by the slimiest, grossest, like human beings that like you could possibly conjure. And it is a cynical movie at its heart, and I think that's one of the things, one of its strongest. Even in all the like wacky, crazy shit that it has going on, it knows in its heart, it knows what it is, like very clearly. It has a message to deliver, and I admire it a lot for that because it goes everywhere. Like it's like I said, like a bombastic, you know, like a flash of stimuli everywhere. Like all the nudity and the bright lights and like this or that. But yeah, I really, by the third act, I was like, okay, it's all coming together. I understand. I don't know, it's a very potent movie.
Yeah,
very strong movie.
You are totally right in saying it's just it's a very very nihilistic movie. Very because every character in this movie is like just a completely horrible human being. The only it's really horrible because like the only good character with any sort of redeeming qualities is Molly.
Molly, and she gets like the worst handout.
She ends up getting the worst treated by the end. She gets like punished for being the best character.
It's insane. It's insane. It's
really horrible.
It's horrible, dude. And it's just like, and like Naomi like pushing pushing Crystal like off and like near the end, you know, to get the role, and like it's just a mishmash of the worst scum of the earth.
Yeah.
And like the scummiest place of the earth.
The whole
like
backstabbing
for
qualities.
2 hours.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. Yeah. Yeah, and like Molly gets she's like the best character per se, like the nicest, and she gets dealt the worst hand. That's not a Vegas joke, by the way. That's just what came to my mind. But it's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. Very nihilistic. Very
nihilistic.
Movie.
I am glad that you took to it. Like you said, you're not crazy about it. Is that right? You've got some sort of. Is there any sort of negatives or reservations that you made? I know it is a lot.
It's weird, dude. I'm really bad at describing what I didn't like in a movie. I just kind of I don't know. There's things I didn't like. I don't know what they were, but you know, you finish a movie and you're like, yeah, there's a little 3-star. That's all right. But
okay, yeah.
Let me try and think if there's anything I could
because I know it's
maybe. No, you go, dude. You go.
Oh no, I was gonna say because I don't initially like. I know obviously, it is completely understandable to not be completely taken with this, especially on the first go, because it is a lot. It is very graphic and sort of in your face, and definitely confronting too on sort of the subject matter of it. Every single woman in this movie is treated completely horribly. Almost like, and I know this is like it's definitely, they're definitely written horribly too, where they're, you know, completely objectified and only talking about like all they talk about is their nails and everything. But I definitely think that is on purpose. That's definitely
there's like a thin line between like, I don't know if this is a criticism or not, but I believe it might be on purpose, you know, to kind of like push that exaggeration of the subject topic even further. You know, the characters, like everything is dialed up to 100 in this movie, right?
Oh yeah.
You said it yourself. We were talking about yesterday. It's the best way to put it. The whole movie is shot like a strip club. You know, it looks like a strip club.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say that in general. This movie feels like a strip club. I, for one, have never been to a strip club, only in GTA. I got GTA strip club experience, but like there's so much shit going on, dude. There's so much shit.
Yeah.
It's such an aggressive movie.
Yeah, that's a great word to use for it, actually. Yeah, definitely
it's aggressive.
Definitely aggressive.
I was gonna say, I feel like, I don't know how I feel about the runtime. Maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe, I don't know. It feels like a cheap criticism because I'm like, you know, this is the director's vision. I can't argue with it. But I think I would have liked it. I would have trimmed it a little bit more, slowed down for me heavy in the middle. what you said about the way women are written is also very, very true. And I guess that kind of goes back to another criticism I have, which is, yeah, just kind of like wrangling with it during the
Mm-hmm.
first act. Like I'm trying to discover what type of movie this is going to be. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. It could be overwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. I guess that's the way to put it. But, by the third act, like I said, I was like, okay, like I kind of have like everything. I started to understand everything, all the messages and whatnot. But yeah, dude, that's. I guess if I like had to put all my criticism into one, is that it's a mean movie. But like, it's mean on the senses, on the feelings, on the everything. It is. It goes hard. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm just a wuss. But because I was checking like whenever I'm like finished with a movie, I check my friend's Letterboxd review, and everybody's like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars. And I'm like, oh my God, did I not get it? Am I a bitch?
It might take time. It might take time. But like I said, I don't blame you for initially like not being fully on board with it just yet, because it is definitely it's very visceral. Yeah, very mean. It's like, yeah, it is a very angry movie, and it is so weird too, where this definitely feels like
it is weird.
Despite not being an action movie, like one of his action movies, Paul Verhoeven, this definitely feels like one of his probably his meanest movie. Like, it's always weird because obviously the movie he did right before this, Basic Instinct, I'm not too sure if you've seen that one yet, but that one
No.
deals with sort of sexuality too, and sort of the psychosexual aspects of,
Yeah.
of sort of serial killers and everything. And it's really fascinating whenever this guy Verhoeven goes into sort of the sexual perversity. It always ends up just being the ickiest and sort of meanest stuff over his conventional action stuff too. So it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
This one, however, definitely treats like, the romanticism of becoming a big star.
Yeah. The cost of fame
The
and like
cost,
Las Vegas
getting
and
treated completely horribly straight from the get go. The Nomi, our main character, obviously hitches a ride into Vegas. And just from there, just sort of becomes, the whole movie is just sort of a montage of her coming into interactions with new people who just treat her completely
like screw
terribly.
her over like worse and worse. Yeah.
Like, all the men in this movie are just absolutely horrible.
Absolute human beings,
but they're all
putrid human beings.
Yeah, but they're all like cartoon level. They're like cartoon villains. So it's not like it's really interesting one, because it constantly balances that line of comedy where you're like, okay, there's surely no one obviously this comically disgusting, because like the manager of like the Vegas Showgirls thing is like constantly just objectifying and just says the most horrendous things. So it's like, it's so weird because it becomes so overtly horrible where it becomes funny. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It never feels like
exactly
real.
like
It's never like a real life.
Yeah. It's like this, like cartoonish version of the worst in Vegas. The worst people on Earth.
Right.
And the movie itself, the color grading is just so, it pops, right? It's so colorful. It has like a slightly cartoonish vibe to it.
Yeah.
Maybe, well, you could say it's theatrical. Like the shows in the movie themselves. It's all theater. It's like, like people like screwing themselves over in like increasingly ridiculous ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fucking manager of the Cheetah Club, was it like Al?
Oh my
god, the first guy, like
Robert Davi
such
is
a
unbelievable in this.
Yeah. Robert Davi he like, as soon as he came on the screen, I was like, oh, this fucker is evil. Like, he just looks evil. Robert Davi just looks evil. No offense, Robert Davi, for listening to this, but he just looks mean.
He's talking about like this new stripper starts talking about how, like, if you want to survive at this club, you've got to give me like a blowjob within the first week of working
it's just
here.
fucking
It's all that sort of
gross,
like vile
dude.
shit. But that's what I mean. It like goes to such extension levels of depravity where it becomes funny, even though it probably shouldn't be. But you're just watching it going, no one exists. Like, this is like cartoon extreme.
Yeah.
It's just the extreme of Verhoeven and sort of, I don't know, his obsession with sort of the American iconography in entertainment, but just done to the
It
absolute
reminded me a
vibe.
bit of like the fucking RoboCop villains. You
Yeah,
know, like the
exactly
gang of
right. Yeah.
like the most cartoonishly evil,
Yeah.
like fucking let's blow up stores with a sniper rifle, you know, type of like fucking like yeah, let's go get him, boys, like
Yeah.
that type of shit.
Yeah.
But he's really good at making like super silly, you know. Well, even though this one is like much more grounded in realism, and I do believe the extent of man can reach this level of evil. I do believe there's absolutely. I don't even want to imagine what the real like Las Vegas like dancer industry looks like behind the scenes, but I think Verhoeven does a really good job of like, you know, making it. How do I say it? Like, you know, uh, I was gonna say like digestible, but also it's so ridiculous at the same time. You know,
Oh, 100%.
he just makes it like cartoonishly evil. Uh, I don't know. I guess the performance is also like Robert Davis is really good in this. And I'm saving the best for last. I'm saving Kyle McLachlan for last, dude. But yeah, just I don't know, man. Just a compilation of like the scum of the earth, like all the old men like asking her for a dance or shit like that. You know, it's just um I don't know. But even like Crystal, you know how Crystal talks to her in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like wow. It was so refreshing when every scene with like Molly happened because I was like, oh, thank God, like finally someone with like an ounce of humanity inside them. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, everyone in this world, it's like I don't know, it's treated like Vegas is like its own separate planet of just like desensitized, of everyone's like depraved and just like I don't know. There's so many. I lost on this rewatch for this podcast. I lost count of how many sort of like just sweat stained skin and like bodily fluids, and everyone was just like sort of talking about like fucking each other or like fucking each other over. The fucking the friend that Nomi makes the African American guy in the dance club.
Yeah, James.
James is fucking phenomenal. Like he gets some of the best line reads in the movies. Like everyone's got AIDS and shit, and like
dude, it's like it's one of the movies that goes on the list of like do not watch it on the plane or like with your parents. Like, dude, shout out Wolf of Wall Street. I watched Wolf of Wall Street on the plane.
Oh my god.
Dude,
the whole thing
up on the TV and everything. The whole thing.
Oh, dude.
Dude, yeah. I just kind of like I just like grabbed onto my seat really tightly and ignored the old lady next to me.
Yeah.
But she would have gotten a heart attack with this, like for sure. Insane movie, man. Insane.
Yeah. No, it's a really interesting one because I think obviously like it's a thing where no one liked it when it first initially released. I didn't go in and read sort of any initial reviews. In retrospect now I kind of wish I did. But sort of I think everyone was just sort of so averse to the idea of something being so graphically sort of sexual.
Yeah.
Because it definitely does reach levels of it does get sort of confronting. I think especially in the later half too of, you get a lot of this obvious set pieces are set in either strip clubs or sort of these seedy backstage Vegas showgirl. Everyone's like it's just the most insane amount of graphic nudity. Like
it is a hard one to talk about because like, on one hand you talk about Jurassic Park and like dinosaur animatronics, and then you talk about like the sexual violence of Las Vegas. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, well, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's campy. I didn't know that the pool sex scene was from this movie.
You've heard about
that? That was fantastic. I've seen that scene before in like the timeline or whatever. Like, oh, that looks ridiculous. I wonder where that's from.
Yeah.
And now I watch this movie and I see them in the pool. I'm like, no fucking way.
Oh my god, this is it.
Like that is, I think that's like a good like demonstration of like what we're talking about here, the campiness, the aggressiveness of it. It's just, insane, but I can't help but be like charmed by it. It's like I wonder what the fuck was going on in Freehover's mind. I wonder what Kyle MacLachlan was thinking while doing this. I wonder what Elizabeth Berkley was thinking while doing this. But it's like you said, dude. It's very. I don't know. I'm also trying to think of like ways
It's
to
an
describe
interesting one.
it.
It is. It's kind of bizarre. It's a bizarre one to unpack because I think obviously like you did want to talk about Kyle MacLachlan's performance as this is Zach, who
Good haircut. Good
oh my
haircut.
god, dude. You know, I was thinking halfway through this movie, I was like, where the fuck have I seen that haircut before? And it occurred to me the next time we see a haircut like that, it's on Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
He's got the Spider-Man 3
Holy shit!
haircut.
Yeah.
What did we think? Because I know you're a big Kyle MacLachlan guy.
Actually, I haven't seen him in much at all.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like, I love him just based off of him as a person. I've barely, like I've said, I've only just started Twin Peaks. I've only done the pilot, but I loved him in, the little, where you're introduced to Dale Cooper. I loved him in that.
Yeah.
And right now, my mind's slipping. I can't remember what else I saw him. But he's just a very cool guy. I love Kyle. I follow him on Instagram. He's just so sweet. So see him, even though I don't know how, like, I haven't seen him much in like many projects. Always seeing him is like seeing a very old, like a good old friend. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, there he is, man. You just gotta love him. You just gotta love Kyle.
He's great. That
and, right. I saw him in Blue Velvet. I watched Blue Velvet. He
Oh,
was great
okay.
in
Yes,
that.
yes, of course.
So it was great seeing young Kyle. Oh, he's a fucking Fallout. I forgot he was in Fallout.
He is too.
He was
Yes,
the dad in
he's in a
Fallout.
lot of stuff now. Like he was in a lot of sort of stuff, like obviously Lynch stuff and obviously Showgirls, which I think a lot of people were shitting on his performance in this, which I don't think it's fair to criticize anyone's because everyone's on sort of trying to be on the same wavelength here of being over the top. It's I think he is phenomenal in this. That whole scene, like his animalistic sort of, I don't know, expressions he's making, either in the pool scene is unbelievable, and to circle back, like when he first gets the lap dance from Naomi in the strip club, buried sort of similar fashion is unbelievable.
Dude. He's great. I think he's really good for like what he was given here, what he was given to do. I think he fits perfectly, honestly.
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley, they get some good chemistry like halfway through the movie because he's obviously in a relationship with Crystal, Gina Gershon's character, sort of semi-relationship. It's very sort of implied, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, him and Elizabeth Berkley, like halfway through the movie, they honestly develop some good chemistry together. Does sort of undermine it a bit at the end when it turns out he's sort of just another sort of, I don't know,
like
businessman scumbag sort of thing. But no, I think he gets some really interesting stuff in this movie. Like, he's the one that sort of helps kickstart her career into the Showgirl stratosphere. So he gets some really good stuff.
Yeah. No. I really liked him, dude. I really did enjoy him. He was like, it was very nice because it was like, this whole movie is like so unknown to be this crazy ass movie. And I see Kyle, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like you're here, man. Like, it's nice to see a familiar face, But it's a very comforting human being. Even when he's playing like a complete total scumbag, he's like, that's my boy, that's my guy.
That's it.
But,
that's it.
He was definitely like in my favorite performances. But I mean, if I had to pick, I'd just go with Elizabeth. Honestly, just I can't imagine the amount of like the energy and effort you have to put into a role like that.
It's so interesting.
It's insane, dude. It's honestly insane.
Her like physicality is like when she's like, I don't know, her dancing, if I can just start off, is insane. Like when she's dancing in the nightclub when she first meets James is like bizarre. It's like everything about this movie is just so slightly off, but it's just so it's like a
that's such a good way of putting it. This whole movie feels like slightly off,
a little bit off.
Like
everything
even Vegas looks like a dream version of Vegas. It looks like a dream. It feels like a dream, like a very, it's it's like so, like you said, like her dancing at the club is like so sporadic and like in the flashing lights, and then they go outside and the sky is like super fucking blue,
Yeah,
like
it's
really blue,
crazy blue.
and the
It's like a
neon
different planet.
signs are like, oh my god, you hit it. That's it. It's like it's a planet. It's a different planet. These
Yeah.
people, these are people are aliens, right? But I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying like, oh, these performances are so bad. These are aliens. No, 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 no. I'm saying that like that's what I see Vegas as. I don't know. I'm South American. I see Vegas, and for me, Vegas is like another fucking universe. Like I cannot imagine like all the shit that must be going on there behind the scenes, right? The people there, this is like, I don't know, probably some Vegas residents are going to listen to this and be like, dude, we are not like the movie Showgirls. But it was just, that's a really good way of putting it, man. It felt like an otherworldly first watch, honestly.
Yeah, it does lend itself because like I think the movie has like a really good like bookend start and finish of like her hitchhiking. So when she's not in Vegas, when she's hitchhiking into Vegas and obviously at the end hitchhiking out of Vegas, it's all like, sorry, pardon me, like mundane location work.
Yeah.
So like it's like, and then it's just this sort of sweet spot in Vegas where everything is just completely heightened and it's not it's definitely not realistic. It's a really bizarre sort of like you were messaging me as you were watching it and you were like just completely taken probably more than anything on how the movie looks, and yeah, it is sort of very visually dynamic.
Yeah, yeah. I also I felt it like oddly like claustrophobic in a way.
Okay,
Since
yeah.
you mentioned like Las Vegas as this like separate entity. Um, the scenes in between the girls like changing rooms and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's all like very high octane, like people just screaming shit at each other. These people hate each other, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like a snake pit.
Yes. It's all the misogynistic
This,
ladder climbing
yeah,
and yeah, pretty
yeah. The
gross.
backstabbing. It just felt like holy shit, like get me out of here. You're like, oh, this
Yeah.
is insane.
And it's crazy too that like constantly like characters are conveying, their emotions, their anger, their sadness through like dance, which is like, I don't know, that's just another sort of, this whole movie is thing, and I think he's come out and say this, I'll have to double check, but like Paul Verhoeven, it just seems to me that he just like, fuck it, whatever. Like he was at a point in his career where he could do like make any movie he wanted pretty much because he had so much behind him at that point. And it definitely seems like Paul Verhoeven wanted to make like this, what would normally be this seedy sort of softcore porno that would cost like $1 million to make, but just blew up into this grand sort of MGM financed, high studio budgeted thing. And he's just
Yeah.
going to throw anything he wants. Like there's this whole scene at one point where just like chimpanzees come in because why not?
Yeah. The spectacle, like the show
spectacle.
scenes themselves were insane.
And they only get grander and grander as they go on too. Like there's like some insane costume design, pyrotechnics. It's all there. It's all just it definitely does seem like it's just Paul Verhoeven going, okay, look, I'm just gonna like we have this high budget. I've got this niche little idea, and we're just going to exuberate it we're just going to dial it up to 100, and it works. I know it doesn't obviously. It's probably a turn off for a lot of people, but I think it does lend itself to that idea, and it does work, I think.
For sure, man. I'm just glad, Verhoeven got to make this thing. I don't care like how bad, these movies they are, how badly received they are. I just think it's cool that this shit is out there. Whenever I finish a movie, even though I liked it or not, I'm like, I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad this exists, man. Just reading up the discourse, I went on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a 23 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
It's like all over it's like all over the place. But I like that. I like when a movie's like this, like controversial.
Yeah,
like,
it gets a good discussion out of it.
It gets a good discussion out of it. It's fun to talk about universally loved movies like Jurassic Park, of course, but like it's really interesting when you get to one of these and you're like, what do you say about Showgirls, man?
Yeah, that's it.
What is and it's a really fun time, dude. It was a weird time, but I did enjoy it thoroughly. It I love when film challenges my comfort zone.
Good.
When I
Yes.
I'm like, you said Showgirls, and I was like, I have never heard anything about this movie, but I'm really excited because
Good.
it's not something I would watch, and I say that like good. I need shit that I would not usually watch in my radar, because it just opens up your mind about the story behind like some of these productions. And you know I've never seen Elizabeth Berkley in my life, and now I understand why, because she's not in anything anymore. But uh it's yeah, man, it was
Good stuff,
oh, the
man.
budget was 45 million.
Wow.
I got
That's
the
what I mean.
stats right here.
I don't even think that's accurate, because I think I've seen Paul Verhoeven talk about there was extensive reshoots. So it's probably it's just insane. And it made like no money back. So yeah, it's definitely, I think, while I don't think it's his best movie in his filmography, even though I do love it very much, I think it's definitely his most interesting one. It's definitely one where I don't think like we talked about with Jurassic Park, where we didn't mention this in the Jurassic Park discussion, but like I feel like easily, without question, like that's one I can come back to and rewatch at least once a year. Showgirls maybe not so much, because it is definitely confronting. Despite the fact that that entertainment factor is still there, it's like definitely still entertaining to watch, which is really weird, but it's still also very, I don't know, it is an odd one. It is an odd one.
It's an odd one, dude. Yeah, would I recommend it to somebody? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But I'm just really endeared by Verhoeven's style. Like I said, like the RoboCop, the comparisons to this. It's just, I really want to watch more of his stuff now, because he's fun, dude. He's fun. He's fun.
Oh yeah.
If there's I can give Verhoeven is that, like, you'll never be bored. I think like your eyes will always be glued to the screen because of how ridiculous these are. That's also, again, something I give like Cronenberg. Like, these movies are so wildly
definitely
inventive and like stylish, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, okay, if it's bad, whatever, but like I'm a sucker for style.
Sure.
I
For sure.
really appreciate, like, watching this movie, man. Like, I was texting you like how pretty this is. Like, this is a beautiful looking movie. These performances are wacky, but they got heart. And I guess that's what I could give this movie. It's got heart. It's got a lot of heart. Can you hate it? Absolutely, yeah. I didn't love it, but it's got heart, and I really appreciate that in a movie.
For sure, man. For sure. I mean, like, that's so interesting too, that I love that you brought that up, that, while on the exterior level, it is definitely a pretty movie, but, you just peek behind the curtain a bit, and, like, the subject matter of this movie is just so disgusting. And, that whole scene, like, I think the perfect thing to sum up this movie is, like, that whole sequence where Nomi is becoming more and more apparent in the showgirl lifestyle. Like, she's in the show now, she's practicing, and her old Robert Darby, her old manager at the strip club, comes to visit her to, like, congratulate her that she's moved on and everything. And, like, his final line to her before they part ways, and it's done in complete played straight emotionally, and says to her, like, it must be weird not having anyone come on you. And it's like, but it's like done in, like, it's so bizarre, because it's like this disgusting line, but it's done in like a Gone with the Wind, like, it's so funny. And it's like, you can just tell that, like, yeah, like I said, I'm kind of lost for words, because it is just so interesting. Like, Paul Verhoeven, I think, never doubt the man, because he is a genius. I feel like every single bit of this, whether you're attracted to it or not, it is intentional.
Dude, yeah, I'd love to talk about this with him. I'd love to sit down with Verhoeven and be like, "Yo, what happened here, man? What was going on? What were you fucking drinking, man?"
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's a good time. It's a good time. It's not going into rewatch with my girlfriend list, but it's
no. I don't think it's one with the family. I don't think
it's not with the family.
No.
It was a good time, dude. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it's actually that was really funny because I was spending time with some family members the other day, and they were like, I was telling them, oh, I'm doing the podcast on the weekend. They're like, oh, what movies are you talking about? And I was like, oh, we're doing Jurassic Park and another movie.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
That's,
about it.
that's
So
well.
it definitely still in the year 2025 still Showgirls, like a movie that's what, like 30, 40 years old, definitely has that credibility about it where it's like, we won't discuss it in the open air. But yeah,
Yeah,
I guess that
I'm
speaks
not.
for itself, where it's still got that long lasting reputation to it.
Yeah. I'm definitely not gonna go to like a hangout and like.
No.
Guess what I watched this weekend?
Yeah, exactly right.
All my home is Showgirls.
Showgirls.
But still, I'm still very glad I got to talk about it with you, man, because I feel like it's one of those movies that, like, unless somebody asks you about it, like you'll never talk about in your life. So like this was not on my radar. I knew this movie as like the funny warm poster movie.
Right.
Because she looks like a worm in the poster. That's it. That's all I knew about Showgirls. That's all I knew. I was like, oh, she's funny, warm. Like that's it. I had no like. I texted you live when I saw Kyle MacLachlan in there. Like, what the fuck? Like, I did not know he was there. I did not know Verhoeven was the guy who made this. So yeah, great time, man. Honestly,
So good, man.
And talking about it with you, man, that's a great time.
Yeah, so probably pivoting final thoughts on Showgirls. I think honestly, like it's really funny. I think this holds the same sort of entertainment merit as like a Jurassic Park or like, which is like, I don't know. It's sort of it feels silly for me to say out loud, but I think this is just as entertaining, just on the pure physicality of everyone involved. I think Paul Verhoeven is such a dynamic and sort of energetic filmmaker, where I feel like his sort of exaggerated weirdo energy is definitely comes through. You can definitely feel it behind the camera, and I feel like, I don't know, I couldn't. This is like you said before. This is 100% a Paul Verhoeven thing. Like I could not picture anyone else sort of
No.
game enough to do something this bold and this sort of interesting,
Yeah.
surprising. Like I feel like he. I could definitely be wrong, but I feel like the negative press initially behind this movie he would have just loved, where he's like, yes, like no one gets this. Like this is it feels like such a hidden gem. Where obviously now a lot of people have come around on it now, but at the time I feel like he would have been just frolicking in that. He would have loved it. That everyone was just like so averse to it. But yeah, so many fucking great line reads, like so many seedy line reads too. Like the everyone got AIDS and shit just got the hardest laugh out of me. James I think gets a lot of it. Like at one point Naomi kicks him in the dick at the after like they meet for about 10 seconds, and she immediately kicks him in the balls. And he's like, "You're not just a pain in my ass and my but you're a pain in my dick as well." And it's like like there's a lot of just like cartoonish lines like that.
So campy, dude.
Yeah,
just,
camp is the great word for it. Camp when it's not being camp, it's extremely angry. Like that's the thing too about it too. Like at the last 15 minutes turns into like a rape revenge thing, like out of nowhere.
It's it's very maybe that's a criticism. I don't know, but it's like it hits the steering wheel, like it turns a crazy turn.
Yeah,
and it's like wow, like you said, like just now I was laughing about this guy getting kicked in the dick, or like stuff like that. There's some like light, or maybe you're laughing at the ridiculous pool sex scene or whatever. But then at the end, like the last one is like 10 minutes, 15, I think. The movie just goes like, this like is really the reality, man. This is the shit that happened. This is the show business, dude.
Yeah,
like, this is behind the scenes. This is what goes on behind the scenes.
100%, man. And you learn some stuff about Naomi's character that becomes like really uncomfortable.
Like it goes crazy. Like it just throws everything at you. Just throws absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So I felt even relieved when I saw her like leaving for Los Angeles. Like, yes, please, like just go and like never touch this place again.
That made me laugh so hard because as they're leaving, it's like next stop Los Angeles, and it sort of hints at like sequel bait. Is like, is she gonna do the exact same thing again in Los Angeles now?
Does she hope it's gonna be better in LA?
Oh my god, it's so funny. You're like, I think there was sort of talks initially before this came out of like Verhoeven was interested in doing a second one, but obviously after this got released, that idea got quickly shut down. Where the studio was like, no, we're not giving you money to do another one of these.
No fucking chance, dude. No fucking chance.
Oh,
Good luck
so
getting
good.
Elizabeth. But
So
yeah, no
funny.
chance, man.
But yeah, this is probably ending the discussion there on Showgirls. Now, Balta, the time has come. The
What are
most
we?
important part of the show. You know the rules. You've been here before. You know the groundwork.
Yeah.
How would we pair Steven Spielberg's?
How would we pair? Okay.
Steven,
Well, I thought about
yes.
one. You mentioned it earlier. I really like that. Well, you mentioned how all the dinosaurs were like genetically engineered in the lab. They were all female, controlled by like greedy capitalist men.
Oh my
I think that just
God.
writes itself.
I like
I
where
think
you're
that just
going
writes
with that.
itself.
Oh my God,
It's
that's
just
brilliant.
2 movies about the urge to control. If you want to look at it like under a magnifying glass, all the dinosaurs at Jurassic Park were female.
Yep.
So like, or well, actually, I believe they were like gender fluid, but they genetified them to be female.
Oh my
Then
God,
turns
you've
out
done
they were
it.
gender fluid. But
Holy shit.
The need for rich capitalistic men to have control of like either be velociraptors or show dancers, whatever it is. But a lot of capitalism. I guess capitalism just plays a massive part in both of these stories. Greed.
Yes. And they're both
know,
done too for entertainment value, whether it be like
and they're both done too for the show.
Yeah, for like whether it be like a dinosaur zoo or a like a
or
showgirl
like a Las
dance
Vegas
routine.
show.
Oh
Dude,
my
yeah,
God, that's
yeah.
it. You've done it.
That's it. I'm trying to think of another one, but honestly, I think that's the most solid, developed one I could give you. If anybody asks me, hey man, what similarities did you find between Showgirls and Jurassic Park?
I think
I
you've
got
done
one on
that
the hip.
so well.
I got one on the hip ready. Don't ask me for 2. But honestly, I don't know if you have any, man. If you had anything like anything you thought about here.
No, I was definitely thinking in the fact too of like sort of the definitely both set focus to the entertainment value. But yeah, the fact too that you've done that so brilliantly. I'm so impressed by that of like these larger than life sort of capitalist businessmen controlling like females, whether it be through whether they're a dinosaur or they're an actual human being, and they're just completely milked for entertainment value and just that is fantastic.
That's
You've done it.
I'm
so impressed with that. Well done.
Oh man,
that's the best.
Honestly,
hands down. I think that might be the best reasoning for the pairing I think I've ever heard in the shows. We've been doing the show for a year now.
I tried really hard, man. I was like in bed, like thinking, like rocking my brain before I went to sleep because I didn't have anything ready, and I was like nervous. I was like, what the fuck is it like normal between these two? What's the connection between these two? But yeah, man. Honestly,
oh my God, man.
I'd say if anybody asks me for a double feature, I will say you could do the Capital Screen double feature, which is Jurassic Park and Showgirls.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's brilliant. Well done, Balta.
Thank you, man.
No, but I want to thank you so much, obviously, for coming on and finding the time to talk about these 2 movies. It's been an absolute blast, obviously. I'm so glad I could get you back on. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
Man, pleasure is all mine, dude. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for giving me the space to talk about my favorite movie of all time for like an hour and a half. Just ramble about cool shit, good movies. I love it. It's like I've been looking forward to this a lot, and I'm just really glad to be here again. So thank you for the opportunity, man. Really.
Good stuff, man. Is there anything you want to plug before we let you go?
I don't know. Follow my Twitter, y'all. I'm like
where he is
about dinosaurs. You know where to find me. BRKen2 on Twitter. And watch Jurassic World Rebirth in theaters July 2nd, 2025.
I was gonna say, get on board the Balta train before the new Jurassic World comes out because he's
hop on, dude. Invest in Balta stocks.
Yeah, the Balta stocks, the Balta dinosaur stocks are up. Get in now. Dude. That's it. All right, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, man. So that's gonna do it from us, and we'll see you on the next one.